Are you ready to stop the self-sabotage and create the life you desire? Well, in order for that to happen, you need to break free from the bad beliefs that are holding your success hostage. You need to optimize the stress by turning it into extra energy for success. And those hurtful habits? Well, we need to give that pain a purpose for progress. Welcome to Stop the Self Sabotage and Create the Life You Desire podcast. Are you too much or are you not enough? This is a question that I had to ask myself recently with the assistance of a friend as well as my mentor, my authority figure. And what had happened was a relationship, a friendship that had to come to a conclusion. It was quite evident that it was no longer empowering. It had moved into enabling. And I was quite hurt. Of course, I'm going to be grieving. And one of my friends asked if she could give me some insight. And of course, I'm going to say yes. It doesn't mean that I'm going to take the insight to heart, but she had earned a higher level of access with me. Did you hear that? She had earned a higher level of access. So I'm going to listen to her. And she said, well, Dawn, here's the problem. You fall in love with people's potential too much. You see them and what they're capable of, and you allowed that to cloud your judgment. And it felt really heavy. But I was like, okay, maybe there's something to this. Well, the next week I meet with my mentor and I'm like, okay, Tony, I'm grieving the loss of this and it really stung. And he's like, well, yeah, it's supposed to whenever it's something valuable that we feel that we've lost. And I said, but this is the insight that I was given by someone else close to me. They said, I love too much. I love the potential. And he said, well, okay, we've talked about this before and everybody has a gift. Now I call it gifts of the spirit. It is part of your mission, vision, purpose, path. It's the reason why you're here to help make the world a better place. And he said, Dawn, so one of your gifts is discernment. You're able to see into them and their past and very quickly ascertain the pain that they've been through and the different blocks that have been holding them back that can be turned into opportunities. And he said, so I'm going to challenge you. It's not that you're loving too much. You're not loving enough. It's like, what? Isn't that kind of setting me up for more failure if I love more? And he said, well, no, because you have to begin to realize that not everybody has earned access to that love, that you can love them even more and see their potential even clearer and be primed for their progress, whether it's a client, whether it's a friend, whether it's a love relationship, whether it's family. So turn that light on even more, but recognize that they have to be responsible enough to be able to take action. Now, it took me many years to be able to condition myself that I did not give unwanted advice if it was not asked for. I wasn't going around sharing with everybody, oh, this is what you can do if they didn't ask. But now it's not just them asking. It's then going into a conversation of, I've got a couple of different things that I can offer you. Which one do you feel is going to be the better fit that you can handle right now, that you're willing to be responsible with that level? And as I looked back on the relationship that had just ended, the friendship that had just ended, it was quite clear that I had wound up taking responsibility for their inaction. It's one of the reasons why it began to feel like such a chore. Now, all relationships are going to hit rocky patches, but they hit rocky patches for you to pull together. That even if the other person can't see a way or can't see their part in it, they're going to trust the value that the two of you have built together and go, okay, let's find a way to make it through this. I'll get it out, guys. Make it through this. Let's pull together instead of pulling each other apart. Now, sometimes it takes people just a little bit for that realization. But if the relationship has been built on a foundation that can be strong enough to stand the storms of life, they will come around. Sometimes you do need to involve another party to help you with the progress, because if you could have achieved what you want on your own, you'd already have it by now, which is the reason why I have my own mentors and guides. But can you see how my friend who gave me the advice was completely wrong? And if I would have followed that, I would have been building walls. She was all about protection instead of progress. But people have to be responsible with progress. You don't give a kindergartner the keys to a Ferrari. You don't even give a lot of adults the keys to a Ferrari because they haven't shown that they're capable of handling that level of action. Okay. So as I said, I had I had slipped in my relationship with my friend into enabling because she wasn't partnering with me. She wasn't holding up her end. She kept participating in some hurtful habits that were beginning to cause harm. By the way, there's a difference between hurt and harm. Hurt says, okay, we've got something here that needs to be addressed. Harm is where you're taking that hurt and you're either choosing to stay in denial or you're choosing to use the hurt to hold others back on purpose. So that's whenever it moved into harm, I had to say, you know what? We can't go any further with this. This is not something I can participate in. Now, whenever you do that for yourself, you need to be aware that there are 4 ways that you can come into this awareness. One is to say you've got this all on your own. And I'm going to say you don't. There are actually 6 fears that will hold you back in life, and they will keep you stuck and struggling and at the same level of relationships because you're not aware of these fears. So, you can do it all on your own. No, there needs to be an added level of awareness, just like there had to be a level of awareness with me. Then the second action that you can take is ask someone that you trust, but then also look at the answer, just like with my friend. And the answer felt so heavy. I was already carrying grief. And this was like another boulder to be thrown on me. No. The third action is you can just walk away and say, screw it, I'm done with it. I'm not going to mess with it. But 80% of who we are as an adult was learned by age 8. So there's a good chance that this is going to show up in one of your other relationships because it is programming and conditioning. You will take on the responsibility for someone else. Or the fourth thing is that you can ask an authority figure. This isn't someone on your level. This isn't a friend. This is a guide. This is a mentor that has insight. They have discernment into how you operate. And then they can say, well, yeah, it could be what you think it is. But what if it's something of a higher vibration? What if it's something that if you can embrace it, it's actually going to cause you to feel lighter and open up and bloom even more? All right. So you have a choice now. How are you going to move forward? Is it going to be harder because you're carrying even more weight of what you need to be responsible for? Or are you going to use responsibility in its correct form? See, reactions are based on past pain. Responses are based on future impact. Let's have you living in a world that you create by your desires, by your design, that has a high quality impact.